I made a beat today, and it came out pretty cool, so I decided I'll show you exactly what I did to come up with the sound that I ended up with. So let's hop into Ableton and take a look. Alright, so this entire beat started out just with the bass line, so I'll just show you the bass line first. I paired it up with the sub bass just to give it that 100 Hz frequencies and below. And you can hear the heavy sidechain. You might already get an idea of in what direction this beat is going to go. So I really like switching beats up instead of just having the same thing repeat over for 3.5 minutes. So for this beat, I decided to go with a mixture of kind of a house dance, danceable sort of beat and just straight trap. So for the hooks as well as the first part of the first verse, we're going to go into the kind of house dance move. And then the rest of the verses are all trap. So as any house beat should have, I just got the 4 on the floor. And then when I wanted the snares and some ghost snares to come in, I layered it up with another drum kit to just give it a really full sound. And drum-wise, that's already all we need to get the beat going. Let's take a closer look at the melodies. So I played around with the serum patch and came up with this melody. Now basically all the other melodic elements are based off of this melody, so I have the same thing down here with halftime on it. Gives it that sort of slow-mo and kind of chopped feel, really like it. What I did next is actually reverse reverb the hell out of this melody. So I just took the original melody that I played, I absolutely drenched it in reverb, and then I froze the track and flattened it, and then just simply reverbed it to get something that sounds a little like this. On top of that, I found this really cool serum arpeggiator. And then for yet another serum patch, I played this kind of arpeggiating melody on top of that too. Now for certain parts of this track, I will also have that half-timed. And then what I did with this is I still pitched it up by 12 semitones just to not have halftime drag it into such a low register, but still give that sort of slowed down, distorted, chopped vibe that halftime tends to give. And just to add another touch, I also have the bass line layered with a Rhodes serum patch. So let's take a look what that all sounds together. Alright, now let's get into my favorite part, the trap. So obviously I had to switch it up a little bit just to create that dimension. So the 808s are actually playing different notes than the sub bass and the bass for the hook are. And then I just paired it up with some really hard drums. Combine that with some all over the place hi-hats. I'm actually just now realizing how weird all these parts sound by themselves, but together it sounds great, so that's really all that matters. For melody, I basically just took the parts that I was just explaining and spread them out a little thinner, just to make it sound not as thick and as full as the hook, because that kind of energy once reserved for the hook. And then in the later parts of the verses, I have these choir stabs come in, which I have also reverse reverbed, kind of swelling into the stab. And yeah, that's all for the trap section. As a transition from that trap section to the kind of house dance hook, I also have this sort of bridge pre-hook. So what you hear in this part is the same bass and sub bass from the hook, playing yet another bass progression. And again, you really want to transition the energy, so we're going from a very energetic trap beat. We want to drop it down to let the people breathe for the bridge, the pre-hook, whatever you want to call it, and then lead up into a very busy hook again. So for drums, I only have this very reverbed, spacey snare drum. Really nice. And then melodically speaking, we have yet again the same elements as before. So we have that halftime melody, we have that reverse reverb melody, we have the halftime arpeggiated notes, this time actually in a lower registry than before. We do still have the choir stabs, and then we also have the serum arp that's also now with halftime on. I told you, a lot of halftime in this one. And now for the final part that will actually lead into the hook, I looked for this drum beat on Splice and did like a little bit of a filter automation on it. I paired that with a consolidated version of my arpeggiating notes, pitched up by 12 semitones to give it a really distorted, high-pitched sound. You can also see I got some really weird auto pan down here just to pan it all over the place. I only have it sitting at 66% for the amount, so it's not hard panning all over the place, but it definitely gives it a good amount of dimension around your head, especially when you're listening with headphones. We got the reverse melody once again, and that's it. So let's listen to that whole transition from that pre-chorus to that little intro part into the hook, Sounds pretty dynamic, right? Now, dynamics might actually be the perfect key word. Dynamics, when it comes to music producing, is, in my opinion at least, absolute key. There's nothing that's more important than creating a good flowing dynamic throughout a beat, throughout a song, throughout a full project. And that's probably one of my favorite things when producing beats, is just to create emotions and vibes and take the listener through a journey through that beat, instead of just slapping one 8-bar loop for the hook and one 8-bar loop for the verse and then just repeating it over. I really like creating a full experience inside of my beats. So yeah, if there's anything that you should take away from this video, is that dynamics is everything. Arrangement plays a massive role in how a beat is being preserved. That is ultimately what I look for in beats when I choose some to make my own songs. That does not mean that everybody needs to make beats like that. That does not mean that everybody likes beats like that. That's just how I do it. Alright, now with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how you liked this video. Leave a like if you did, and then I'll see you in the next video. Peace!